So what exactly is Special VFR, what does it look like, and how exactly do you pick up a Special VFR clearance? Hey guys, what's up? I'm John here from FlightMikeAlpha.com, and today that's what we're going to be talking about is how do you pick up a Special VFR clearance when the weather is not so good? Either you're already in the air or you need to go fly, and you need to actually do so legally. Now, I'll preface this with not the best recommendation. I'm not recommending you go out and fly in these types of conditions, but on this particular day, we had two pilots with thousands of flight hours in IFR conditions in small airplanes in a very capable airplane, so flying in 1.5 miles, 2 miles visibility with 1,200 overcast ceilings, not the end of the world, not great conditions, but not unsafe. So not recommending you go out and try this. If you ever do find yourself in a situation like this, well, you may want to just go ahead and ask the ATC for some help rather than a Special VFR clearance. You may let them know you're in over your head if in fact you are. And I would highly recommend you get some adequate training before ever going out and trying anything like this at all. Fly in very, conservative conditions until you get a little more comfortable and you get a few thousand hours under your belt. In any case, let's go ahead and take a look at the video. So to start off with, we departed from a Class Delta airport, and the conditions were just barely VFR there for us to be able to get out of there. Then we were able to get across the Kinnick Arm towards Point McKenzie, orbiting out there. We called up approach, and then asked for your Special VFR clearance into Merrill, because Merrill, another Class Delta airport very nearby, was reporting IFR conditions. Ceilings just right around 1,000 feet or so in less than 3 miles viz. As time was going on, we knew the weather was going to get better, and that's why we did end up departing in those conditions. They were calling ceilings to be about 900 feet and about 3 miles, 2 to 3 miles when we departed, and we knew it was going to be improving. And you'll see that as we fly towards Merrill, the weather actually does get better. Kind of iffy around here, around Point McKenzie area.
Could you approach Cessna 296 to Delta, about 3 miles north, power line bend. Request special into Merrill with Papa.
Novak 5 extra Lima, thanks for that turn. Descend and maintain 3,000. Okay, can you tell what kind of aircraft that is?
So pay attention to all those little clues in there. You hear approach talking to other airplanes, realize that he's working 2 separate frequencies. He's busy, he's task saturated. Be patient, he'll get back to you. That's what we did here. We had to just wait a little bit. They got back to us.
Aircraft calling, say again.
And Cessna 296 to Delta is just south of the prison. Request special into Merrill with Papa.
Fly heading 010. November 09er Zulu, traffic alert, 10 to 11 o'clock and 2 miles southbound. Altitude indicates 800 feet. Do you have the traffic in sight?
09 Zulu, affirmative.
09er Zulu, roger, contact Merrill Tower.
Over to Tower.
Okay, and the other aircraft calling near their power line band, ident, say call sign type aircraft.
And 6 to Delta, Cessna 170, ident for Merrill.
Was that 62 Delta?
Affirmative, 29er 62 Delta.
Number 2962 Delta, radar contact Twin Island Lake, and Merrill 8 is Papa's current. They are in IFR conditions. Say intentions.
The request is special into Merrill.
Number 2962 Delta, I have your request, clock 0114.
0114, 62 Delta.
Number 62 Delta. Number 62 Delta, cleared to enter the Merrill surface area, maintain Special VFR conditions.
Clear to enter Merrill space, maintain VFR conditions, Special VFR.
Number 62 Delta, part 93, altitude deviation approved.
Altitude deviation approved for 62 Delta.
Cool. So we can go, well, we'll just go as high as we can, 1,000 feet. Looks like we'll be safe.
Yeah, we'll be good with this.
Awesome. Rather than having to duck down to 600 to comply with Part 93. So then we were able to get our clearance from approach to go ahead. We got a squawk code and get our Special VFR clearance. He said maintain Special VFR conditions, which means, hey, 1 mile and clear of clouds. So we're maintaining those Special VFR conditions. Ceilings roughly 1,200 feet, 2 miles viz over Point McKenzie as we headed towards the Kinnick Arm and towards Merrill. Visibility did improve and the ceilings were solid, 1,200 feet-ish, but clouds are wispy, and so you don't want to be at 1150, we wanted to hang right around 1,000 feet or so. The other thing he said was Part 93 altitude deviation approved. Typically, they want you to be crossing that body of water, crossing the kinetic arm there at either 600 feet or 2,000 feet. Now, that's a Part 93 rule for the SATR, the special air traffic rule that exists around the Anchorage area. If you're curious at all about that stuff, you can watch some of the Anchorage-specific or Alaska-specific flight training videos online at flightmikealpha.com. It's a little bit beyond the scope of this video. If there's not a SATR in your area, if you're not flying in Alaska, don't have to worry about too much, but in that premium private pilot ground school, there is a lot of Alaska-specific videos on the website that you can check out if you're curious at all about that, about the SATR, Special Air Traffic Rule is what the SATR stands for. So kind of like a CIFRA, but different. Either way, so we were able to cross the arm at any altitude because the altitude deviation was approved, so we went across at 1,000 feet, below the ceiling, so we got decent visibility. We're not getting up into the wispiness where we kind of lose a sense of the horizon, lose situational awareness, but we're high enough that we have a little bit of more room for error going over the water there. And then, of course, we get cleared to land in Merrill.
I wonder if I could have just asked. No, they would have sent me to approach Tower.
You could have called clearance at Lake Hood.
Yeah.
Talked to clearance, they would have arranged it, so you would have talked to tower, then talked to departure. And departure, which is approach, would then feed you into Merrill. But yeah, I would just start with clearance. And even if you have a question like that, even if...
Delta, there's a stationer 2 miles west of the field at 700 feet, inbound to Merrill as well. They're talking to Merrill Tower. Contact Merrill Tower at this time. Good day.
6 Delta looking for that traffic going to Merrill Tower. Good day. Merrill Tower, Cessna 296 to Delta, inbound Special VFR.
Cessna 296, is it 62 Delta or 63 Delta?
2962 Delta.
Cessna 296 Delta Merrill Tower, you can proceed into Merrill. Wind 2605, I can offer you a straight in runway 7 or any other runway if you want it.
Roger, and 6 Delta will do a right downwind for 25 if that's alright.
Cessna 60 Delta and a right downwind runway 25.
6 Delta.
So yeah, even if you have a question and clearance isn't the right place to start, you can always start there because they're not that busy, and you can ask your question to them. They can tell you the right person to contact or how to do what you want to do. I wish I had my own little strip in my backyard.
Wind 2405.
This does not look IFR. Come on.
Oh, this is Alaskan VFR.
Cessna 60 Delta runway 25, cleared to land, wind 2205.
Clear to land 25, 62 Delta.
Eagle 09 Zulu, contact ground.
Now, whenever you have questions about, hey, I want to fly from Lake Hood to Merrill under Special VFR, or I want to do this, or I'm not quite sure, whatever, a great place to start, like we just mentioned, is either with clearance delivery, or if you're not already to the airplane, an even better place to start would be to call flight service on the telephone and start talking to those guys. They can possibly give you a phone patch through to someone in a tower, to clearance delivery, to ground control, to whoever, and then you can talk to your air traffic controller over the phone rather than over the radio while the engine's running, and your mental brain power is devoted more towards the airplane than actually talking on the phone about the question you have, like, hey, how can we just take off out of Lake Hood and fly right to Merrill all under Special VFR? Is that even possible? Kind of, sort of, maybe. Well, so we could have called clearance on the radio to start with, or even better yet, called flight service on the telephone and then talked to clearance via the phone, or talked to somebody at flight service, figured out those sorts of questions. So whether it's a question about Special VFR or just in general, when you have some of those random off-the-wall questions, your CFI might not be able to answer them, call up flight service, call up clearance, call up, whoever, and ask them your question. That's what they're there for. They're there to help. So either way, that's kind of a brief overview of how you get a Special VFR clearance. You can do that on the ground to depart somewhere. When do I get Special VFR clearances? Well, obviously this was one of them. We knew the weather was going to be improving. A lot of times it could be, say, maybe 1,200 foot ceilings and 5 miles viz, so pretty safe to do pattern work at 1,000 feet, 200 feet below the clouds, but in Class Delta airspace, you need to be 500 feet below clouds, so to be legal, I might pick up a Special VFR clearance just so I could go out there and do some pattern work with a student. It could be 1,500 overcast, but 2 miles of visibility. Do you want to go out and do pattern work in that? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe just for the sake of showing a student who's under IFR training what low visibility really looks like, because a lot of us think that anything less than 10 miles is really like 1 or 2 miles viz. It's not. I mean, 1 or 2 miles visibility is low visibility. I highly recommend you not fly in those kinds of conditions. But but sometimes I'll do that just for the sake of getting some students some experience. As far as, just having to be somewhere, you don't want to push the limits too much. So, use common sense, use good judgment, follow all those, PAVE, I'm safe, decide models, all those things. Try to make good decisions. ADM, really key. Decisions are really what separates you from either being a statistic or having a safe flight. So make good decisions. If you have any questions on this stuff, guys, leave it in the comments below. And of course, you can always post your question at the Ask a Question tab on fly@mikealpha.com. One of our CFIs will respond to you. And if you guys haven't checked out fly@mikealpha.com lately, go ahead and check it out. Lots of awesome courses on there. Tailwheel, seaplane, private pilot, instrument pilot, commercial pilot, CFI stuff, all sorts of courses on there at fly@mikealpha.com. Check them out. Spin training, highly recommend you check out that one. That one's free. And that could save your life one day, so check out that course on there as well. And as always, guys, if you can't fly every day, then fly@mikealpha.com. We'll see you guys in the next one.